Check. Oh.
You want to play anymore?
Game over.
Yeah. Hey. That's okay. So. Last night, I was sure the girls were me up to this. And I'm keeping them, and I was like,
Yeah, that's smart.
I didn't find it. She was had to do any work. All right. Oh, that was well, she's 8, she's bored and clumsy. I just the bickering. And this is 22. I'm like, I just I am like go on the playground, play the floor, someone actually gets hurt and do that. I'm so dumb. And Megan's totally turning the corner to like this preteen attitude. So she's like still wants to so well, I'm like, this is confusing. Your sister was in front of us. Yeah, too bad. Yes, so you do. And that being like a lot of choosing all together. Yeah, so being in different schools. I'm also really sick. Just. That's a little. Do you want to get so I told Matthew, we don't pay
So many times, I'm like, oh,
oh my God. 2 snacks and an ice box and a thing. And then he charged like.
They haven't really like experienced what kind of stuff. Just like dig into it, you know, that's fun. Crushed by an apple.
It won't be.
You can't stay at home. You can't even do peanut butter jelly because you can't have peanut butter.
Can't have
She has to
peanut
get some butter and she doesn't like some
She
butter.
likes butter. Oh, I'm pushing them.
Just a few years ago. Yeah, it's like, it's all the things.
It's all the things. So, you know, it's fucked up. You can't Dexter. Yeah. But at lunch during the school year, one of the choices is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I know, because that's all you eat all the time. And I just want.
So how does that make sense? Because package, no, they'll package, like it's the same, I'll package it. Yeah.
So, I passed it for a second. She's like, I'm not hold on. She's like, that's not a choice for you. Like, you're either now.
All right.
Not always.
Works me negative report from County of Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. Judge Jay Frederickson.
All right, you may be seated. Yeah. Chinaza.
Whew, losing jail phone privileges? That's serious. The court's saying, you can't use our phones to break our rules. Victim safety always trumps convenience.
All right, court recalls the case, People versus Burns.
Marie Cameron for the people. And Assistant Public Defender, Chinazi Carey, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Jerome Burns. Mr. Burns, state your name for the record.
All right. And counsel, you've had an adequate opportunity to speak with your client.
I have, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Burns again. Thank you for that short recess, Judge.
It wasn't short, but go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. We did have an opportunity to speak. I've listed everything out for Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns understands exactly where we are. He understands that I have not had an opportunity to retrieve or review the entirety of the extraction from his phone. He is asking that we proceed with the preliminary examination, knowing that that information is not available to us right now. If I could ordeer him, maybe the court would be satisfied with that as well.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead. Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burns, you and I have spoken on a number of occasions about the contents of your phone that was taken by the police. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you understand that they had done a dump of the information from your phone or an extraction of the information from your phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
You understand that we have what is considered as a preliminary or summary report that was provided to us, specifically entitled a digital evidence forensic report that was provided to us by the police. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you know that this digital evidence forensic report does not reflect the entire content of your phone as it is currently. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you understand that because of that, I haven't had an opportunity to review the entire contents of your phone.
Yes.
Okay. And you feel that you are prepared or you feel comfortable proceeding with the preliminary examination today, although we have not had an opportunity to review the entirety of the phone?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you understand that I would prefer that we do that, but you want to continue with your preliminary examination today. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, very good. That's satisfactory for the court. Okay. That being his choice, you may call your next witness.
Excuse me, Your Honor. People call Leah Hollier to the stand.
Ma'am, please come forward and be sworn.
Take a seat, your honor. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? State your first and last name for the record, please.
Leah Hollier, Leahhollier.
You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hollier, could you please tell the court where you work? Okay, and what is your position there? Were you working in that capacity on May 10th of 2025? Could you please share with us a little bit about what your duties include as a social worker at the Michigan Medicine Hospital?
I provide resources, support, transportation, any needs after hours that patients and families need.
And did you have the same or similar duties on May 10th of 2025?
Yes.
On that date, were you asked to talk to Madison Burns?
Objection, Your Honor. She wants her to testify to hearsay. She asked her if she was asked to do something.
It's a question, not a statement. You can answer yes or no. That wouldn't be hearsay.
I'll agree with that. I'll overrule the objection.
Thank you.
Yes.
And were you able to make contact with Ms. Burns and speak to her? Could you tell the court a little bit about how that came about?
I got paged, the nurse was worried about.
Your Honor, it's not for the truth of the matter at this point. It's for the effect it had on the.
As to her state of mind,
Yes.
for
Thank you.
why she does what she does. So I'll overrule the objection. I'll allow it. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I got paged. When I spoke with the nurse, she said that the patient's mom looked
Your Honor, I want to object again. I don't think that she would be able to testify to what the nurse said the patient's mom looked like. I mean, it's speculation on whatever it is the nurse may have felt was going on. I think if that's the case, we should have brought in.
Let's do this way. Ma'am, someone told you about the patient, which is the child, their mother, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And because of that conversation that you had, you then did something, correct? All right. I think that gets us through that.
Yes. Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
go ahead.
Thank you. What did you do based on the conversation you had with the nurse?
I met with Madison in a consult room.
And when you saw Madison, what was her demeanor?
She was like visibly shaking and like she appeared to be that her shoulders were forward and she was looks like meager, I guess. She sad.
Look, I'm sorry, what was that last one?
Sad.
Got it.
And what was your understanding? I'm not asking about what anyone said at this point, but what was your understanding of why you were meeting with her?
So the nurse told me she was worried about the patient's mom.
Okay. And you said you met with her in the consult room?
Yes.
How did you first approach Madison? Where was she? Where were you as you approached her?
She was sitting at the table in the consult room. I knocked on the door and I walked in and introduced myself.
Okay, so you didn't bring her there. Your contact started in the consult room with her. Okay, thank you.
Another day, another delay. Adjournments keep the legal machine moving, but also keep lives on pause. Ever wonder how many times come back next month happens in one docket?
Based on, again, not going into what anyone said, but based on the conversation, the information you had received from the nurse, did you take steps to make sure that Madison was alone with you?
Yes.
Before coming to the consult room, well, let me ask this. Madison's son, the patient, Benjamin Burns, is that correct? Okay. He was being treated at the hospital at the time?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the setup for his treatment? Did he have his own room? Was he somewhere else in the hospital?
Yes, he was admitted to the 11th floor in a private room.
And who had access to that private room?
Anybody.
Okay. In addition, I should have asked that better. I'm sorry. In addition to the medical staff, who else was there?
So before I met with Madison, before I came to the floor, I looked into the chart to see if it was bedside. That's like standard protocol. And so I read that both parents were bedside.
And is a standard protocol, yes, that's the right way. With the information you received from the nurse, is a standard protocol to, actually, let me rephrase that. With the information you received from the nurse, what is the standard protocol you would follow based on that information?
So for the reason for the referral, then I need to figure out what's going on with the patient, why they're admitted to the hospital, and read in the chart for any other past social work notes to see what I need to know before I go.
Okay. You said you had a conversation with a nurse and received some information that led you to speak to Madison, the mother of the patient. What was the nature of the concern from the nurse?
All the nurse said that Madison looked like.
Your Honor, I think this has been asked and answered already.
I'll sustain that objection.
Yeah, so the nurse said that she was.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. That means to stop for a minute. I'm gonna, sorry. So, when you receive information of the nature that this call was from the nurse regarding Madison, the mother of the patient, what is standard protocol to follow after you receive that type of information?
To look into the chart to read any past social work notes to gather the information I need to be able to meet with the patient.
Okay, and were there any past social work notes? Okay. What is the procedure after reading the notes?
To assess the situation and provide support and meet the needs of the patients and families.
Okay. Without going into what the nurse specifically told you, what was it that you were trying to assess at that point? What's in your mind? What is your job to do at that point?
Assess Madison's coping and safety.
Okay. And what was your concern for her safety based on the information you received from the nurse? Okay. Where did that concern come from?
The social work notes. Sure.
Okay. So you said that Madison was, she appeared sad. She was kind of hunched over. And I believe you said she was, and correct me if I'm wrong, that she was shaking.
Yeah, she was like shaking and like picking at her fingers and just like really like into herself and just like kind of like, I don't know, it's like really close.
Did she volunteer anything to you about why she was upset?
Madison told me
Objection, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at this point, this is excited utterance. She's testified that the victim was shaking. She was visibly upset, and we're getting into why she was upset.
Your Honor, this is not an excited utterance specifically because that wasn't her reason for going there. There wasn't an incident or anything that had happened. She just said that she was sent there to check on her. This can't be excited utterance. There hasn't been enough foundation laid to say the time frame from when.
Why wouldn't it be a present sense impression of what Madison may be thinking at that moment?
She wants to tell what Madison told her. Is what the testimony she wants to, that's the testimony she wants to provide to us today.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it and then I'll make a determination as to whether or not I'll take it into consideration. Go ahead.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Madison told me that her and her son were staying at a domestic violence shelter, and but the CPS worker had met with both of the parents when the Benjamin got admitted to the hospital, and both parents were allowed to stay at bedside. But she didn't feel comfortable with Dad being at bedside anymore because he wouldn't let her have conversations by herself. And she was trying to talk to the advocate, and the dad wouldn't let her talk to the advocate alone. It wouldn't let her leave the room.
Donna, I just want to object again to hearsay. This is a whole narrative of what is being told. I still have not seen the present sense impression or the excited utterance behind the testimony that's being given.
And Your Honor, I believe we may be getting there, but if I may lead a little bit, I can
Go
really
ahead.
narrow it down.
I'll allow a little bit
Thank you. Did Madison tell you or make any statements to you about anything that someone had done to her body physically or otherwise while she was at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please tell the court about that?
She told me that Friday that she had sex with her with the father of the patient.
Okay. And did she make any statements about how she felt about that?
She didn't want to have sex with him.
And did she make any other statements about?
The classic scheduling tug of war. Even justice takes a back seat when lawyers need their beach time. But hey, trials wait for no one, except apparently September.
What her feelings or her mindset was about what had happened.
She said that it's happened in the past.
Your Honor, just one more time. I will do this if I do not make the objection. We still have not gotten to the excited utterance. She's testifying about something that happened Friday. The date in question that she had this conversation with Madison was on Saturday on 5/10. So this isn't about something that had just happened that Madison was still clearly upset about, and it wasn't a present sense impression. Madison was not explaining anything to her as it
Well, but wasn't she explaining something?
as it was actively happening. That's my understanding of the difference.
Well, while they're under the, okay, I see what you, well, one might argue that, but your objection is to the hearsay of what Madison said.
That's correct.
Why wouldn't this be permitted? Because in essence, she's obtaining medical care or making the purpose of her own medical care or psychological care.
Your Honor, I don't think that, I mean, at least the testimony that's been provided today, she did indicate that she went in and introduced herself, but I don't, there hasn't been any information that was given to us to lead us to believe that either Madison sought out this medical care or that she was.
Oh, does she have to seek it out, or can it, as it seems to me, we know it was basically a referral to the social worker from other medical staff, for which she then goes into some psychological treatment. Why wouldn't that fall under this exception?
I guess I'd like to know a little bit more about social workers training and see if she's even equipped to handle any type of psychological issues or what purpose she was serving in her conversation with her. I think she said initially she is just there to, I don't think I wrote down her exact words, but essentially to check on the needs of the patient.
And the well-being of the patient. Yes, but I guess what I'm saying is the issue is really with hearsay is the reliability of what somebody's saying. And so if Madison is giving these statements for the purposes of obtaining care, why wouldn't that fall under the exception to the hearsay?
We just maintain our objection. I don't think that there's been any evidence or
Objections noted. I will allow the testimony under that theory, as well as I think that present sense impression may apply, even though it may be some time period, she may still be under the exposure or senses of what had just transpired and is relating that. So go ahead.
You can go on if you remember where you were. No. Okay, no problem. We did a lot of talking. So did Madison share with you how she felt about the sexual contact she had with the father of her children? You already testified that she didn't want to do it. What else did she share with you about that?
She said in the past, it's happened before, and she knows that there'll be repercussions if she doesn't allow it to happen. And then she also said after it happened, he made some comment like, are you mad at me for making you you do that.
Did she mention what repercussions would happen? Was Mr. Byrne, and I'm sorry, who she was talking about, did you mention him by name? Or did she just say child's father?
I mean, when I'm talking with patients, the person that is dad.
Okay. And who do you know who dad is, who Benjamin Burns' dad is? Okay. And was he still there at the hospital?
From what I know, but I've never met him.
Okay. After speaking to Madison, what did you do next, if anything?
So I assessed the safety and I worked with the medical team and we contacted security, who contacted the police.
So when you say you assess the safety, how do you normally do that?
To assess safety is just if she felt safe with having dad at bedside. According to the chart, because CCS was involved, dad was allowed to be at bedside if he was acting appropriately. And so that's like what I was there to assess, if dad was acting appropriately.
Okay, and what was your conclusion? Excuse me.
No, because he was making, what Madison told me is that he was making her sleep with him in the bed, and he was making her wear her wedding rings, and he wouldn't let her make phone calls without him being present, and he wouldn't let her leave the room without him.
At any point, sorry, one moment, Your Honor. Were you or security able to keep Madison separate from Mr. Burns after that? Okay. At some point, did you, at some point, did she leave the consult room to go back to the room where Benjamin was?
After Mr. Berg had left.
Okay. And was she able to eventually retrieve her items that she had in the room?
So she was very concerned about getting her items from the room. So she asked me numerous times about getting her purse and her phone and her items in her bags. And she was like giving the descriptions of them. And so we asked her nurse, like her nurse would come back and forth into the room. And so she asked her nurse to get her things. And she could not find her phone. She left that for like a lunch box and her backpack and all these different things. And we could never find her phone. The nurse could never locate her phone.
Well, Your Honor.